to another episode of Let's Talk About It. We appreciate you for following us up since Let's Talk About It show starts. So I have with me my co-hosts here today, our Sam Oluwafemi.
My name is Oluwafemi Samson, simply Oluwafemi. I'm happy to be here on this episode again. Last one I wasn't traveling. I was working from the back end. And we believe you really enjoyed the last episode. We talked about covetousness, and it was very interesting. And thank you for following us. Those of you that have liked our page, thank you for liking our page. And if you have not done so, it doesn't cost you anything. Like our page, follow us on all our social media channels. That will give us encouragement to continue serving you better. And if you have any comment, anything you want us to talk about or anything you want us to know, please drop it in your comment, and we will really respond to that. Thank you for joining the show every time, and I'm happy to be here again. I'm happy to see you once again, Hester.
Thank you. I'm so glad to see you again.
You've been offline for a while. You've been working from the back end and all that. You were on the show last week. I wasn't on the show. That was very interesting. But today we are both on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
I believe you've been so good.
Yes, indeed.
That's been so good, and my week was great. This week we'll be looking at something that is very important. It affects everybody, and most especially it affects the youth, because we believe the youth are the future are the future leaders, right? And then leading is by process. Everything we do in life is by a process, and at one stage or the other, we may experience failure.
Yes.
And some people have given us to failure; they could not move on again in life. Some were able to overcome the failure, and some they are confused; they don't know how to overcome the failure. So that's the subject we'll be discussing today.
Yes.
Failure.
Yes, exactly. As you have spoken, we'll be talking about dealing with failure. How is it possible for someone who has failed to come out of it, and the process, what does failure simply mean? So those are the things we'll be talking about today. So thank you once again for joining us on the show.
Yeah, talking about failure, growing up, I actually feared failure. I dreaded failure so much because I believe if I fail at any point in time, I failed. And at that point, I didn't actually know the importance of failure. But growing up, I see that failure is somehow inevitable for everybody at one point or the other. So how do you see failure, or what can you define failure to be?
Failure could simply mean not being up to the task, or not being able to achieve a particular goal. Probably you've set up a goal for yourself and you're not able to achieve it, so it could mean failure.
Yeah, setting up a goal. And when we're talking about setting up a goal, that word is somehow tangible. I believe, like, okay, you want to achieve a project, okay, you want to do a construction of a road, or you want to construct a very big building or something. Can you define it in a general term that will apply to everybody? Not everybody wakes up in the morning and set a goal, okay, this is the goal I want to achieve. Though it's very expedient for us to set goals on daily basis. And we have long-term goals, we have short-term goals. But, generally speaking, not everybody will wake up and just say, okay, this is what I want to achieve today. Many of us, we are just living the day as it unfolds. So can you just define it in a general term that affects everybody?
All right, thank you very much. Failure means opposite of success. Everyone has its own opposites: good, bad, sleep, wake. So failure could simply mean the opposite of success, inability to be successful in whatever you desire to be. So it could mean failure.
And that's true. And if you look at it, failure has so many meanings.
Exactly.
For instance, now someone that sleeps at night is expected to wake up in the morning. So if the person could not wake up in the morning, we term the person as dead, right?
Yes.
And which means the person failed to
wake up.
And that's a form of failure. Our body system are expected to perform a certain function or the other. With my hand, I can hold things, I can perform anything I want to do. I do my daily activities with my hand. My legs are expected to take me to wherever I want to go, and that's applicable to everybody. So, which means if the leg could not do that function,
It has failed.
it has failed, and that will be paralysis,
Yeah.
or they will say the person is crippled. So, which means we can also define failure as inability to perform a speculated task or an operation or a function that thing is meant for. Like now we have phones. Major reason why we have phone is to make call and contact. But you can't even dial a number with your phone. The phone has failed you. If you have data now and you can still browse internet with it, the data failed. So which means anything in life can fail as long as it's not able to perform the function for which it's made.
It's made for, yeah.
Now, applying it to our life as youth, what are the expectations on youth? I believe you understand. You get my point. Because now we have clarified it that for something to fail means the thing didn't meet expectation. Now we just want to look at some of the expectations on youth, and then we will look at areas that one can fail. We have people that fail in business, and then we have people that fail in school. Some people do not graduate in school up to now. They didn't have the privilege to they graduate maybe, and then their dreams seems to be unfulfilled because they believe since they can't get the education they desire, they can fulfill their dream. Now let's talk about expectations on youth.
All right, thank you very much, Samson. Youth has many expectations depending on who you are actually, depending on your kind of personality, your kind of dreams, and your environment. Probably you are the kind of person that you are aiming to change the story of your family. Maybe there's a family pattern like that, and they are trying to make things change. Let's say, for example, maybe in the family, maybe there's this kind of something that is always occurring to maybe males or females, and you're trying to stand out, but at the long run you fall victim of it too. So your expectation as at that time, you've jeopardized everything and you feel like a failure in that thing. So depending on your kind of environment, the environment you grow up, the kind of personality, the things you've set for yourself, what you want for yourself, and by that, if you are not up to task and you did not achieve it successfully, you can be termed as having failed in it. So we cannot simply specify that these are the things that youth failed in particularly, but it depends on who and what you are. You can say that this is where this person has failed and this is where that person has failed.
Thank you very much. And Bible says something that the glory of the youth is their strength.
Yes.
Which means every youth, male or female, whatever gender it is expected to be strong. And when we're not talking about strength, we talk about mental strength, which means you should be very smart. As a youth, you're expected to be smart. And as a youth, you're expected to at least be educated based on your background. Some people are more privileged than others. I'm talking about education, exposure, the environment we grow. But we will still talk about so many things on that, because truly they tend to be like stubborn block to cause failure. But in this episode, this episode will be a series. We'll see that those things we can really overturn them into having great success.
Yes.
And look at it, if you have a youth in the house now, every parent believes that their children
Future
are their future. And there's one adage in Yoruba that says, okay, I will just explain it. When the children are growing, the parents will be the one to take care of them.
Yeah.
But when the parents grow older,
The children are the ones
they will
who take
become like a child.
care.
So the children are expected to take care of them.
Parents.
And when we're talking about youth age, talking about from age of 18 to 35 or 45, that even some will say 50. So at this age, we're expected to have attained a kind of success in anything we do because we are very agile and strong.
Yes.
And even Bible attested to that the glory of the youth is their strength. Now, one of the expectations is that every youth is expected to be strong.
It's true.
So which means if we see anyone that is weak, we may say, okay, that is in part of failure. I'm talking about being weak. It may be bodily, maybe a person is less privileged or something like that. Then, or maybe mentally. Some people are not very smart, and because of that, they believe that they are not fitting into the environment, into the system. Wherever they find themselves, they tend to draw back.
Yeah.
Or there are some people
Emotionally too.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Some people have low self-esteem. Some they are weak emotionally, and there are some people they believe that I'm not beautiful enough. Maybe their
Yes.
facial appearance and all that. They believe that, and for that purpose, they will be like, "Oh, I'm not fitting into this environment,"
Yes.
because they expect themselves to be as beautiful as others.
That's
And when we're talking about failure, there will always be a comparison. There will always be a comparison, comparing one thing to another or comparing something to a standard. There will always be a metric of measurement. So now, as a youth, because what we're trying to discuss now is affecting everybody. If you go on the street, try to intervene, ask people, you see so many people, they've estimated their life and they think that there is nothing else than failure.
that can come out of it.
And they've lost hope because they believe that nothing successful can come out of it. But we want to really check if they are right or wrong. And we want to check the importance of failure. If failure is good or bad. Or worse. So now we've talked about some of the expectations of the youth. Now, before we move to when can we see someone actually fail or causes of failure, let's still talk more about some facts on failure. Now, one of those things before you can say someone has failed, I said it the other time, there will be a standard of measurement.
Yes.
So in our school, they'll say, okay, before you can pass this course, you write an exam, and in the exam,
You have to meet up to a
must,
standard, a cut-off mark.
at least 50%. So from 50%, they can say, let my people go. You have passed. And if you can do well, you score 70%, then excellence starts from there, and you can score 100, and like that. There is a standard for that. Okay, before we can say you are a very strong man, maybe you are very good at your work, you must be able to attain this particular level, or you must be able to pass some certifications and all that. So those standards are met, or sometimes it may not be on that, it may be in the competition or that one thing is compared to other, or based on use. So that fact is there. And also, I think failure is time bound.
Yes.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think so too. That it's true. I agree with that, because the fact that you fail at a time doesn't mean that when you keep trying, you cannot be successful in that thing. So, as at the time you are failing, it could be the time to prepare you so that you'll be able to get the things done better. So that you are failing in something in particular, as at that time, it's training you. It's training you, making you to see the things that you've not noticed, or the things that you have noticed but you've not applied well, or the things that you have even applied well but you need to gain enough experience before you'll be able to achieve enough success in it. And also, failure being time bound could be that even when you achieve success in that thing, you'll be able to handle the success, you'll be able to guide it jealously. Because if you just do it once and you get it like that, you may not be able to guide that
maintain and
maintain
sustain that
exactly.
success,
So
and
you
you
may
can
not be able to
still
sustain it.
end
So
up failing.
failing again. But when you try the first time and it didn't work, the second time it did not work, and the third time, maybe you tried the third time, you try it again because you really want to do that thing, you really want to achieve this success. It could be, it may not be business, it could be you, attitude. Failing in terms of attitude, it could be failing in terms of attitude. Probably there is something that you've been doing and people are like, why don't you just try to adjust this? Why don't you just try to adjust it? But you've been trying, but the more you do it, the more you know how to comport yourself. The more you try to do it, the more you have to comport. So failing could help you by being time by when you are failing in it. It could help you to guide your success jealously. It could help you to gain enough experience. You could even teach others that no, that you have failed once upon a time doesn't mean that you cannot succeed in it again. So that every time you fail, it's teaching you to be stronger.
Can't. You can always try again.
Yes.
And success is not tied only to a particular time.
Exactly.
You know, goal is tied to a time. Okay, at this stage, I want to achieve
You already
this.
set it,
But
you
one thing
aligned
I've
it.
noticed in life is that at whatever point you succeed in whatever you are trying to aspire to do, there is no relegated success. You will still be celebrated. For instance, now, okay, we are all expected to have money, but you've tried a business, you can't make huge money, but at least you can feed yourself. And at the age 40, you can still make it. If you make your money at age 70, you will still be reckoned with.
Sure. You still be
If
celebrated.
if you make your money at the age of 8 and you make good money, you will still be celebrated. People will still honor you. So, however, though if you make it at a younger age, you will love it because
It's an
it
advantage.
it will add to your esteem, it will add to your value, and you'll be very happy that at my young age I can make this great success. But at whatever age or whatever point you achieve that success, you will still be celebrated, and that success will still stand. So that's the reason why we should not give up whenever we're failing at a particular thing, because failure is bound to time, and if you fail at a particular time, there will always be
Another time
to
to
try
try
again,
it.
try again.
Yes.
And as much as you learn from your failure, then you will keep growing, and as we continue to grow, we will make success at the end.
Let me give a simple illustration concerning failure to be time by. For example, someone that is writing JAM, seeking for admission into an institution, and the person has been writing JAM the first time, the second time. Fine, this person is passing, even post UTME, trying everything he or she could do to get to higher institution to get the admission, but the person did not get it the first time, the second time, the third time. Probably the person now tried it again the fourth time. You know that when that person gets to school, finally get the admission, the person will be serious. Apart from being older than others,
you
person
know
will-
what you have
yes, the sacrifice, the thing you went through, you know, some people would have like, what are you doing with your life, all of these things like that. So you always want to achieve something. You would not want to behave like those ones that just got it on the platter of gold. If you are this type that is very serious, you know the value of what you've gotten because you worked for it, you prayed for it, you waited for it to come. So when it's eventually given, you have to hold it, handle it well. So this is an example of failure to be timed by. It doesn't mean that you cannot get there. It only means that before you can get there, you have to have enough experience, and when you get there, so that you'll be able to handle what you've gotten very well.
And another fact that we have here to share with you is failure is not bad when it motivates you to want to succeed. one thing is that, okay, whenever we make a mistake, it may lead to failure, right? And when we fail in anything, what we need to do is to learn, why did this thing fail? What am I doing wrongly? What are those things that are not available to me now? Because anything could be the cause of that failure. Even you might prepare where you might be okay, and yet something will stand against it and you fail. Even some reasons for failure might not be known. But when you learn from it, it motivates you to want to succeed, which means you research more, you increase in knowledge, you improve in your strength, and your value will improve, and with that, you can succeed more. So failure is not completely bad,
Yes.
as long as it motivates you to succeed. And also we have here that failure is a crucible for success. The wise learns from failure, just like I just said. So when we talk about crucible, in crucible is like an equipment in foundry. Foundry is like an engineering process for refining metals. For instance, gold. Now everybody, if you go to the market, you want to buy jewelry, you want to buy gold jewelry, and you see that this is sparkling, very beautiful. That gold, that is not its natural state.
Yes.
The natural state is not attractive. So when the natural state is taken, they will take it to crucible to refine, to remove the impurities, and then add some other alloys that will make it more beautiful. So failure is more like that. Failures will expose our weaknesses and make us embrace our strength and be more and do more. So whenever we are failing, we should see it as a crucible and learn from it.
Yes.
Okay, now we want to check areas that people fail. We have people that fail in business. We have people that fail in education. We have people that fail spiritually. We have people that are very successful. They make good money. They have lots of assets, but they fail spiritually. Some people, they fail. You can say they fail their purpose of existence.
People fail in their responsibilities.
Yeah, sure.
People fail in their responsibilities.
Like maybe marital responsibility, or even at work, you are responsible for a particular team. You fail, especially leaders. They will fail in their responsibilities, and when leader fails,
the followers it affects the followers.
It will expose the followers to a lot of danger.
Yes.
Some people may fail in philosophy. There are failures in science. There are failures in theories and everything. Everything created on earth can fail.
Yes, can fail. So that's what I'm saying. That in every aspect, there are rooms for failure, but it depends on how you now move ahead about it. In every aspect, academic, business, marriage, emotional, everything. There are people that failed in it, but yet there are some people that still succeed in it, and yet there are some people that have once failed that later come to succeed in it.
And even failure is inevitable.
Sure.
And I'll explain that even if you succeed now, for instance, now let's see those people that are the successful people we have in this country, or even in the world at large. In some years back, some people were the richest men and women, but today they are no more, maybe because they are dead and their assets were not well managed. So which means their life failed them and they died, and then their asset failed them because it could not save them. At least if money doesn't fail, then the riches should not be dying. You should be able to buy life with your money.
That's true. That's another one.
So everything created in this earth fails. And the lesson learned from that is, if you are passing through any form of failure, it's not the end. It's not a new thing, because failure is part of life. But the only thing is, you should not stay. You need to come out of it and make sure that you learn things that can make you successful.
Yes.
Failure is not the worst thing in life, no. But the not coming out of failure
is the worst.
And even apart from that, the fear of trying something new because you are afraid to fail is even bad than failing. It's even bad than failing. And that's an encouragement for any one of us that is doing something at the moment and seems failing,
Like,
or you look at your life and it seems like you are failing.
you think
Don't
something
give
is
up.
not going on well with your life. You feel that, is there anything good thing that can come out of the Nazareth of this life? There are so many good things that can come out of the Nazareth of your life. Jesus came out of the Nazareth, of Nazareth rather. So there are so many good things that can come out of your life. So don't look down on yourself. Don't zero your mind to success. There are patterns. There are ways that God can bring you out again to limelight, to success, anywhere you are.
So, if we see success, failure as part of existence or part of life, we won't always feel bad when we fail. But we will think like,
days are coming.
Yeah, we'll think like, okay, this is a stage. Like, then, what am I expected to
do next?
Now
Yes.
to go out of this? So, that is the word you had. Failure is part of life. Don't see yourself as the worst person whenever you're going through failure. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16, that the just man falls 7 times and he rises up again, but only the wicked shall fall into mischief. Which means anybody can fail. And when you fail, it doesn't mean that you are the bad person, or maybe nothing good can come out. So we should start seeing failure positive as a good thing, so we can exploit the good in it. And now I want us to check something. We've been able to define what is failure. We've been able to see scenarios when people fail, expectations that we put on ourselves. That expectation is very wide. We can't mention it all. As a student, you are expected to pass your exams. As a business person, you're expected to progress in your business. As a project manager or project coordinator or anything, you have to succeed in that project. For instance, if you are building a house and the house collapses, that's failure. But if you build a house, the house should be able to stand and safe for people to live in, and not just that you erect a building. The furniture and everything have to be intact and beautiful.
Yes.
So, and as a man, you have to be strong as a youth. We talk about strength and all that, and some people, they have expectation in beauty. For instance, now if you want to go into fashion or you want to be a beauty pageant, you have to work on your skin, work on your stature and all that. You can't say, okay, you want to go into fashion and then you are not hitting anything anyhow. You just become very fat. You won't be able to do that.
You have to learn how to build yourself into that you want to be.
And if you are going to sports, you have to be very fit. You have to exercise, practice, and all that. So expectations
in all
are wide.
aspects, things that you need to do to be able to succeed. So falling doesn't mean that you cannot rise again. Just like as Scripture has said, even the just, the righteous, falls 7 times. The righteous. So that means that there is nobody that is above falling, but you can only rise again.
Yeah. Now, we want to look at when exactly can we say someone has failed or something has failed.
Okay, when exactly can we say someone has failed, like has failed totally? This person has failed totally. I feel that when the person himself or herself feels that he or she can never rise again, and that is he or she looking at herself as a failure. But the only thing that could make somebody fail totally without rising again is death. That is the only time that you can say that, okay, this person, that people would even say, okay, this person failed in this aspect. But for you yourself to tell yourself that you have failed totally, that depends on you yourself, that you're speaking it into yourself. But when people want to see it, that, okay, this person has failed totally and this person can never rise again, person cannot come up again to achieve what he or she wants to achieve, that means that death has come into the matter. That's
Yeah,
into the situation.
that means as long as you live,
As long as you live,
you have hope.
yes,
As long as you live, you can still succeed.
yes,
As long as whatever challenge or whatever problem you are facing has not taken your life,
yes.
you can still go out of it. even if it's poverty, as long as you are still existing, you still have your strength
Still have
to
your
drive,
breath,
you can still make success. If you think, okay, I cannot study, anytime I try to read, I can't assimilate, I don't have a retentive memory and all that. As long as you are existing, you can still try some other things. It's not compulsory that you must be in school to succeed. No. Even we have so many dropouts, they drop out of school and they exceed, and they excel rather, they succeed to the extent that they even employ graduates to work for them.
So you don't have to make meaning out of your life. Don't tie yourself down to that failure. Don't tie yourself. Don't be like this thing is now a shame that is holding me back, that I cannot push forward again. So as long as that breath is still in you, that God still sustains you till further, as long as you are still keeping up, still waking up, staying strong, keeping fit, then there are some things that has been deposited in you that you've not yet discovered. So that should not, because you have tried one thing, you've tried academically, probably you were not being able to get it academically, doesn't mean that you cannot try it in other things. You can be an entrepreneur.
Do you know, even if you check the list of richest people in the world or most valuable people we have now, a lot of them are not the best students in their school. No, even some of them are past students. Even some of them are dropouts.
Yes.
So, which means your success in life is not tied to your certificate in school.
Yes.
Definitely. But in whatever you do, try to make sure that you acquire knowledge, you acquire understanding. You know, Bible says something in Proverbs. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. In all your gettings, get wisdom. And it now said, get understanding. Which means even if you fail, get why am I failing? You know, if you can't answer the question why, it will be difficult for you to go out of that failure. If the failure we're experiencing now is poverty, why am I poor? Am I lagging behind in some area? Even you are educated, you are a graduate, you can't get a job. Why am I like this? Are there any other things I can try out? Do I have any skill or any craft I can launch into? If you can answer why, definitely the problem is half solved, because you have already known the cause of the problem.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to go out of it. So if you are feeling currently, one thing that we are putting out to you is, why are you feeling? Try to get it. If you can get to the root of why, then your solution is nearer to you.
Yes.
It's very near. Because if you don't know why you're feeling, even if anybody is coming to help you, there is every tendency that you will still fail.
Yes. So you have to examine it critically. You have to look into it. Like, you have to just check it. Why is this thing occurring every time? Why is it not changing? Even when you try to change it, why is it not changing? There's something that is making you to still remain the same. There's something that is still drawing you back to it. So if failure occurs many times, then there are some things that you need to check well. Then after checking it, just as my co-host has said, after checking it, then the next phase of solution is close to you. Why? Then what's next? You can also talk to people about it. Probably you are not able to handle it again. You are not able to handle the situation again. So probably the solution to your problem, to the failure, has been given to somebody that is close to you. Maybe the person has been through what you are going through. So the person can actually tell you, okay, this is what I did during my time. This is what I did when these things happened to me. So some people are just so quiet about things that they need to talk about. And it's always good to talk to the right person. Because talking to the person that will not give you solution is another failure.
I think that's the fear many people have. You don't even know the right person to talk to.
Yes.
Even sometimes the people you think are the right person to talk to,
will
or
lead
the
you
right
astray.
person to talk to, they will either lead you astray or even mock you or take advantage of you instead of helping you.
Yes.
You know, For instance, now the story that Jesus told about who is my neighbor, when he was talking about, okay, there are 2 commandments. The first one, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and the second one, love your neighbor as yourself. Then one person asked him, who is my neighbor? Jesus now gave a story that there was a man who was going on the road and the bandits attacked him. The armed robber, they took away everything he had. Then they attacked him. He was almost dead on the road. He was helpless, nothing to help him. Then a Pharisee came. And in those days, those Pharisees are seen as next to God. And when he saw the man on the floor, he could not help. He passed through another route. A priest came, and these are people with high expectation to help, to be into humanity.
I can easily go to confide in.
So it was even someone that they least expected, a Samaritan, that they were like, okay, these people are Gentiles.
Yes, they are not part of us.
And it was the one that offered that gesture to help the man and rescue the man and save the man. Jesus now asks, okay, who is his neighbor? That's the person that helped him. So what are we saying here? Getting the right person. You may go beyond thinking, okay, this is my uncle, this is my family. My family, they care for me. These days, family may not care for you. Even your worst enemy is the closest person to you. Yes, it could be. So you need to look keenly. I think fear of this makes some people to keep quiet, but keeping quiet can never be a solution. You still have to talk to some people. You can approach professional people. You can approach spiritual leaders that you can confide in, that you are very sure that this person's calling, I can validate it. Until you can do that, because there are so many foxes in sheep's clothing. Even in the ministry, it's so dreadful. So dreadful. But one thing, the most important person you can talk to is talk to God. If you can't find someone to talk to God, He will direct you. And before you speak to someone, you can even talk to God. The Bible says, in all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path. Proverbs chapter 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. So you can do that on your knee. You can do that on your knee. Praying, you can tell it to God, and you can change the situation. Prayer works for everything. Prayer works for everything. For instance, okay, you are failing now. You don't know why you are failing. When you pray, God can reveal the cause of your failure to you. God can direct you to someone that will see the cause of your failure and tell it to you. God can do anything just to take you out of that.
God can minister
God can
to
direct you to be exposed to the understanding of why you are failing. So you can talk to God, and then I pray that everyone that is experiencing one failure or the other, the Lord will lift you out of that failure.
Amen.
And give you success in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Now, before we get to the end of the show, we want to look at why people fail. The last thing we were talking about, when can we say someone has failed? And we've seen that it's only when you are dead you can say the person has failed. As long as you still exist, you can make success.
Yes.
So you have no reason to commit suicide. You have no reason to end your life. You just have to be resilient. You just have to be strong. So now let's look at why do people fail? Because we said if you can answer the question why, then you have a clue of how to get out of that success. So let's just check that. Why do you think people fail?
Right. Thank you very much. One of the causes of failure could be lack of the appropriate information. Lack of the appropriate information could make someone feel like, or not getting the full information,
Or being misinformed.
Yes, being misinformed, getting half information. Some would only get a part of it and not everything. So when they try it, for example, let me use this thing as an example. This liquid soap making, there are chemicals to make it. So probably you've got, okay, this is the one you will use, these are the chemicals. You did not ask, how will you mix it? Or even if
What
you've asked
measure?
what measure, or even if you've asked how you mix it, you did not ask which one should I pour first, and which one comes in next, and which one comes in next. So you don't ask to get the full information. You only got half information, so it could lead to failure. So at the end of the day, after trying it, you just and I did this thing.
And
I
it
used
didn't
all the
work
chemicals.
well.
It did not work out well. It is because you've not gotten the appropriate or the full knowledge of what you want to do. So that could lead to failure.
Oh, that's excellent. Information is key. Even there is one Yoruba says that's saying that goes like this. Anything about integrity, accountability. That is, if you don't know how your mates succeed, you will just
Run
be
into death.
running until you die.
Okay.
You know, in schools nowadays, I think those times if you want to write exam, there are fast questions. If you compare from, let's say, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, what are the questions that were set? And you will see similar questions, or you will see similar subjects that were coming out consistently. You will know that, this is the area I should concentrate. There is like 90% probability that questions will come from this area. Because if you look at the scope, your curriculum for the term or for the session, you see that you can't cover everything. So if you know, you can attend to past question and succeed, it will make your job easily done. You answer that and you succeed. Some people will not do that, and I read and this thing did not come. Or maybe, you see that some people, how do they make their money? You are doing the same job. You are doing, let's give example, maybe you are in the same business. And you look at them, and we are doing the same business. How is it possible that they are making money on it? Some of them might be into some other things that is helping their business.
Yes, to grow.
If you don't have that information, maybe some of them, they get loan to get some equipment to help their business, but you are not privy to that information, that you can get loan that you'll be paying like monthly, you'll be paying stipend monthly to cover for a particular number of years. Definitely it will be difficult to accumulate that amount that is needed to expand your business. So information is very key, and to get the right information, you need to make research. This part of the world we don't often make research. Even our country don't even think research is something reasonable. They don't invest in it. And if you go out of this place to the Western world, research is key. Like, even most of those food you buy at different restaurants, there are things that if you go on YouTube, you get how to do it, you get the right recipe, and you can make it and enjoy foreign life in your local environment. You know, if we check, we see there are some things that we can get. You're a fashion designer, you want to make a particular style, you don't know how to make it. If you go online, research, or you meet people. Research doesn't mean that you must research online. You can meet people that are into that business. Get right information on doing this. You can attend seminars on how you can do that business. As a student, there are different things that you can do to help you succeed, to help you do the right thing. You must know who this lecturer is, how does this set question and all that. Apart from that, as a youth, you are working in a company, you must know how it is. If you don't have the right information, it's very, the design will be poor, the construction will be poor, everything will be poor. So we need to invest in getting information. If you get the right information, it will be easier.
Yes.
Someone that is going to Victoria Island now doesn't know the route. Yes, they can tell you, you are Toshodi, you want to go to here. You have passed the place now, you will take another vehicle now, go back to Yanokwaja. And when you get to Yanokwaja, tell them that you are going to Ikotun, and from Ikotun, tell them you are, and the person will not know. because you don't have the right information. But if you have the right information and someone is telling you, you'll be like, no, I know where I'm going.
Yes.
And it will make the journey easy. So if you are failing at the moment in a particular thing, try to get information on that thing you are doing. You know, previously we said you should get understanding of why you are failing. But now we're saying get information about that thing. Get information on how to do it right.
Right, yes.
And you can get that, maybe you can research people that have done it before. How did they do it? People that are doing it now and it's working for them. How are they doing it? Then you filter those information, because we need to learn how to filter information.
Yes.
Filter the information and pick it up. You see that things will turn around. Knowledge is power, they say.
Yes.
Knowledge is power.
Right. So another thing I want to talk about is lack of humility. You know, some people probably they've done something the first time and they got it right.
Like pride or
Not being humble to learn from others. That's what I'm trying to say. So not pride per se, not that person is arrogant, but not just being a bit submissive to learn from others. Probably you've tried that thing once and it worked. So you feel you're an expert in it. But there is still more to that thing that you've not known. There is still more. So you need to just calm down a bit, just watch and look at how others are doing it, even if you know better than the person doing it. But there will be a bit of something that, okay, so this thing can be done this way. Maybe you've been going through a long process to get your things done. You could get it in a very short form and it will still be coming out well. So some people are so full of themselves, like, okay, they've done it, I can do it, I've done it several times and it's worked. But can you just calm down to watch how others are doing this, so you would know how well and how perfect you can even do yours in a better and simpler way?
You know, this affects some people. They can't work with the team.
Yes.
Because they believe if you are correcting them is an insult to their integrity, is an insult to their
Like, I've been doing this
person.
thing even before you come into this team. So
And one thing about knowledge is dynamic. It's very dynamic.
no
It's
one
not
is an
static.
island of it.
Not at all. What you think you've known to the best of your ability now may be the beginning of another person's knowledge.
Yes.
And apart from that, there are, you know, they will say there are always two sides to a coin. So what you know now, there will always be another way of doing that
it.
thing and to get even better results. So we should be open to learn from anybody. Anybody. Like even in the Bible, when Goliath was threatening the people of Israel, Saul the king was there. They could not do anything. You know, it was after after Samuel had gone to anointed David.
Yes.
So his father said, okay, take this bread, go and give it to your brothers at war. His brothers are fit, they are giants, they are warriors. But just a small statured guy, his brother was like, what? You are too proud, you are too arrogant. What have we come to do here? David said something. Is there not a cause?
Yes.
No, it was very thin, very small. But there was a cause. God wanted, because God had anointed him, he wanted to make him to be the deliverer of his people. And when he had Goliath trying to threaten the people, trying to ridicule their God, it was like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine?
He asked questions.
And he went to meet Saul. Let me face this man.
Okay.
Because he was confident in God. And who could ever imagine that God will deliver great people by just a small body? So God can use anybody. Even solution to your problem can come from a small child.
Yeah.
And do you know, another thing is that the scope of your knowledge is limited by your exposure. Like, okay, I'm a no-shodi. I can't know what is happening in IKEJA. It's impossible. Except I have something that will link me.
You should be professional.
Yes, local champion in no-shodi. Except I have something that will link me to information in no-shodi. I mean, in IKEJA, is either I have someone, an informant there, or I'm connected online
So
to
you
read
know how
what
the
is
word is
happening.
being ruled there.
And by the time I connect to that information, I have gone beyond my scope.
Yes.
My level of knowledge have increased.
Yes.
So that is how it is, and it can come from anybody.
Anybody.
So we must be open to learning different things from different people, and we must be humble to receive knowledge from anybody. You know, some bosses at work cannot hear any they don't take suggestion from their subordinates.
Yes.
There are some people like that, and many of them have failed because of that.
Whereas the solution is close to them.
Definitely. So we should be open to learning. That's another cause. Some are too arrogant. They are not humble to learn. And if you look at it, like the most
People that fall into this category are those that have already gotten to maybe the top a bit, right?
yes, they have some
It's to achieve
esteem.
it,
They have high esteem of themselves. They rated themselves high, so they believe they can't.
Cannot
They
talk to
can.
me. I've
They
been
believe
here
they've
before.
attained
Yes, I've
that
passed
level.
this level.
We
so
shouldn't
you
be
can't-
that.
Yes.
And another thing is lack of preparation or lack of planning. You know, if you look at the statistics, majority of us fail because of this. Or we rush into operation without proper planning.
Yes.
As for me, I think it's better to spend 9 years planning and use 1 year for execution than to rush into production
And then go
and
back to the
fail.
square one.
and fail. Prepare. There is no too long time to prepare. If you prepare well, definitely your performance will be top notch. If you plan well, like if you have some students, even some graduates, they don't even have goal of the future. They don't know what they want to become. There are many people in higher institutions now, they are just studying that course because that was what the university gave them. Or because, okay, that's what my father said I should do. So they just take it as it comes and they don't have any preparation to excel in it. They just want to do anything as it comes. And it will definitely be a different experience if you, okay, someone that have determined I want to be a doctor in the
And
future.
follow it passionately.
That kind of person, if the higher institution gives him or her physics, will never take it. No, this is not what I want. I want medicine. Okay, why are you offering me physics? Because I didn't pass chemistry. Okay, let me study more to pass chemistry. Or, okay, I don't have enough money to study this. All right, let me do some jobs, some menial jobs, get money. You know, that will be, the person is focused and will prepare well. What are those subjects I need to do? You will read more. You know that you don't have to miss class. You know that you don't have to miss any CA. And then you study more. You prepare. You know, Jesus says something that he was giving it as a proverb. Can a king go to war
Yes.
without planning that he can win this battle? You know, if you know that you can't win the battle, there is no essence of going into that war.
Into the war.
You can send emissaries to
Yes.
make peace. But if you are sure you've planned, you see that you have your strategies, then you can confidently go into it. You want to build a house, you know you don't have enough money to complete it, and you started it, and you're not making any, you don't even
Efforts.
have a structure. You said, okay, I just want to build a house. Maybe
Just
it's
want to lay
bungalow or
anything. Foundation
No,
shall
you can't
just
do
be
that
laid
way.
anyhow. So it's not done that way.
So we need to prepare properly. If you are experiencing any failure now, check your design, check your plans, check your preparation. Are they intact? If you really have a good plan, it may be something is missing. You have to review it. So lack of proper planning or proper preparation is another very important cause of failure. And many of us are guilty of this. Okay, some of us will be going, you know you have interview, you won't get there early. That's the beginning of failure. You have board meeting, you won't get there early. That's beginning of failure. Okay, you are given a task in the office. Prepare this thing. You don't even know. You don't even know how to go by about it, and you don't even care. Okay, you're a pastor. You want to preach on Sunday. You don't even prepare. You believe that Holy Spirit will take control of everything. Truly, Holy Spirit will take control of everything. You don't even devote your time to
Holy Spirit will even
pray.
work on your preparation, prayer.
You don't have time to pray. You don't have time to study the Bible. Then you will just be blowing anything for the people. That is it. So we need to devote more time to preparation, and this will give us good success. Success. So we've talked about
misinformation,
lack of proper information or misinformation. Then people that are not submissive to knowledge from others, they don't absorb, they don't learn from others. And then we talk about lack of proper planning or preparation. And we have people that they don't have confidence in their own ability.
Yes. So people feel that they cannot. No, they can't. What they always say is, "I can't."
It's different from low self-esteem. And then fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown. There's so many causes of failure that we'll be talking about, and time sincerely will not permit us to finish them on this episode. By next week, we'll continue with this series, and along the line, we'll be bringing professionals and valuable people to share their experience and bless us more on the aspect of failure. We will still talk about how to approach failure. That is, when we fail, how do we approach, and how to come out of failure, and some other aspect of it. We believe that you've enjoyed today's episode. So this is where we'll have to halt for now.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. It's been so wonderful. Thank you, my co-host.
It's always a pleasant time whenever we're talking here. I love discussing this with you, and I believe our people love hearing this. And one thing, as a recap, failure is part of life. We should not be afraid of failure.
Yes.
No, it's part of life.
And don't let failure tie you down.
No. Don't feel bad when you fail. Learn from your failure and move on. Learn why. Why did this thing fail? And then learn from it and move on. Try to know the cause of that failure. When you know, then you can move on. And then let's try to always learn to take responsibility, and always try to be willing to do the right thing. Because if you discover this is the cause, then do the right thing to come out of it. And we pray once again that everyone experiencing one failure upon the other, may the Lord God Almighty help you to overcome the failure and come into success. And then whatever good that you have, may they not fail in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
So thank you very much once again. It's a pleasant moment with you this evening. And before we go, we would like to remind you to follow us on all our social media
Instagram,
channel.
Facebook,
On
YouTube.
Instagram is CAC Sheraton.
Yes.
And the same thing on Twitter. And on
YouTube
Facebook.
and Facebook, CAC Sheraton.
Yeah.
And you can also follow us on MixLR Radio, CAC Sheraton. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to
Please subscribe to our YouTube page,
yes.
like our Facebook channel, and then please give your comment on this.
Your contributions are.
We are always, we will really take your feedback. And then we will try to do anything that will make this program interesting and more educative. Please, we need your feedback. Thank you very much. And then in CAC Sheraton, we are praying church every day, Monday to Friday, by 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. is Adura Owuro. It's very powerful. People have testimony, and please join us. You can join us on all our social media platforms. And then in the evening, Monday to Thursday,
9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. from Monday to Thursdays, we are always having Adura Shale.
yeah.
While on Sunday morning, that is the special Sunday service, we are always meeting at CAC at Sheraton Hotel in IKEJA. So we are always here every morning 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the Sunday service.
Yeah, and this Sunday we are having a very powerful youth program. It will take place in the evening by 3 p.m. We are inviting you to join us. It's going to be a glorious moment, and you will definitely be blessed. You can come here in. You will definitely be blessed. So we would love to have you.
It's a teaching and prayer program.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week by the grace of God. So
ọmọ